Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Because chances are on any given Wednesday, I'm talking about Twilight, so you could have just... Was that also your jaw unhinging, or was that you responding to me?
that was me responding to you.
Oh, okay. Well, hi. Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Hello.
Where I am hopelessly pretending that Cody's responding to me, and Cody is just unhinging their jaw, so...
It's just, the demons are coming out to play, boys. Demons are coming out.
Hi, it's our spoopy episode.
I forget that there are some people that still actively say spoopy in the year 2017, and then I listen to Allie.
Oh.
And it's here.
Well. Here. Cody, how are you doing today?
You know?
Oh.
I'm alright.
I wasn't sure where that was gonna go.
I just like to build up tension. I just woke up. I was like, I listened to this excerpt of what we're talking about today mid half sleep, and so I'm coming out of that.
Oh. So you were having dreams about Bella having dreams, which is very meta.
Oh, God, I guess.
Wow. That's great.
How are you?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. So...
As if we don't ask each other this every episode. Finally, it is about time.
I'm just really
get to talk.
I'm just really glad.
Just like to hear it from your mouth and like your voice like means a lot.
Finally, after almost 50 episodes, I get to speak. So this morning, as I was getting ready, because I'm also waking up, it's a morning pod if you weren't aware. We oscillate between sleepy pods and morning pods, and this week it's morning pod. As I was waking up this morning, one of the Spotify ads this morning, #NotSpawn, was a Taco Bell ad. But I didn't realize it was a Taco Bell ad because the ad was, "What's on the menu tonight?" And this chorus of ladies said, "Overcooked pork chops." But they didn't just, like, monotone say it. They were like, they just, like, sung it. And they sung it at this very high-pitched voice. And here I was, trying to brush my teeth. And the chorus to me trying to brush my teeth was "Overcooked pork chop." And it was terrifying. So that's where I'm at today. I'm scarred, is what I'm trying to say. So thank you for this therapy session. So what the fuck, Taco Bell?
Like, you can't tell the story and not do a dramatic rendition.
Okay.
Of this.
All right, so.
Or experience.
Oh, God. I don't sing, so this is going to be and that's not like a High School Musical, like, I don't dance, and then it's going to be, like, great. It's like literally, I don't sing, and then it's going to be, like, goose sounds coming out of my voice.
More demons coming out.
Yeah, I'm going to unhinge my jaw, and it's going to be, like, Thomas the Train coming out of my voice. So here I was, like, brushing my teeth, right? And I'm, like, staring at the mirror, right? And there's just, like dark circles and just... Yeah, like, literally. And here I am. And, like, usually, right, as you're disassociating, there's, like, weird shit coming in your mind, right? And so it's, like, it's fitting that, like, this fucking commercial is going on. But it's fine because this fucking, I don't know, asshat is like, "What's on the menu tonight?" And then there's, like, 3 ladies who are probably wearing, like, American Eagle, and they're like, "Overcooked pork chop." And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So here I am, and I look at myself in the mirror, right? Like, bitch, what the? And I look down at my... Yeah. And I look down at my phone, and I open it up to see what the advertisement is for, and I'm like, "Taco Bell? Is that you?" I was trying to just disassociate today, and this is what happened. Damn. So that's been our check-in corner. Should we move on to our current events corner?
Yeah, boy.
Great. It has not been a slow week today. We actually had a lot of shit happen this week, which is great.
Jam-packed with news.
so much news. So following up on our Pats and FK Twig split, we have a new person in the mix this week.
Hey, that is misleading.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
We have a third wife.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not meant to be a clickbait.
Stealing your man.
Yeah, that was not meant to be a clickbait in the form of a podcast.
Wow, where's the integrity in our journalism, Allie?
Sorry. Well, then please, Cody, take the lead on this. Add some integrity to it.
Oh my god. I will say that this headline from In Touch Weekly leaves something to be desired as well. Because it's like, true. Robert Pattinson leans on Katy Perry after split from FK Twig. So it's like buzzword. How do we get people to click who are names that people, whatever. But apparently, it's like...
They're friends.
And there's like many photos of them all hanging out, which is a fucking trip.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But hey, they're friends. They're living their dreams. And so Katie, while very much on tour right now, is doing emotional labor for Robert Pattinson post-breakup.
Yeah. Shout out to Katy Perry for trying to be supportive of someone.
Yeah.
Hopefully T-Pain is doing the same thing for FK
Honestly,
Twigs.
He should.
I agree.
I'll give him a call. Like, hey man, have you been talking to FK lately? Shit's been rough.
Please keep going on this.
No, that was it. That was the end of the phone call. I hung up.
Okay, great. I was just not going to I was not going to save you on this. I just wanted you to keep going.
No, that's good. I felt it. I felt that love there.
Great. I was just really supporting you, but like from the backseat. Yeah. So,
right. No, great. For sure. I felt the spotlight on that one and I appreciated it.
Me just doing my impression of like Will Smith to Jada, just like with my arms out.
Oh my god.
So, the next piece of news is a two-parter. I guess the main event was that there was a event in Hollywood this past week, the L Women in Hollywood event. Mm-hmm. And the two parts of it is, one, there was a reunion of sorts for all of the women in Twilight that were there, which was great. And two, K-Stu spoke at that event. And of course, address some of the sexual harassment that's obviously been going on within this realm, which is great. Well, it's not great, but it's important to be addressed during something like this. I guess good news first is that we got some photos of Nikki Reed and Ashley Green.
Ooh,
so good. Very pretty. They look happy. Well, Ashley Green looks very happy. Nikki Reed looks very scared.
Yeah.
Sort of. Understandably so, kind of like after the news that we've touched on, but like I hope that she's doing okay. One thing to note is like this girl had a child. It's like, how? Yeah, she looks great and glowing. She just also looks very scared. So
yeah, absolutely.
We didn't get any photos of all three of them together, but like none that they published. So hopefully
we did get this very sweet photo from the last time.
Yes.
Kristen Stewart and Nikki Reed hung out, and it is a blessed image.
Yeah.
It is everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah,
it is a mood and a half. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Of course, the news about K-Stu and the speech that K-Stu had about addressing the abuse and sexual harassment that's been happening, i.e. the person that we kind of know that has been talking about, i.e. Harvey. But also, like, there's been a lot of people, obviously, throughout Hollywood that aren't being named right now. This is just like the main person that's getting the heat right now. But I think that this is kind of dredging up a lot of conversations. So I'm just happy that this conversation happened, that it's getting buzz, and that K-Stu felt comfortable enough in that space to have that conversation and felt supported, which is good.
I will say, though, that K-Stu has been known recently to defend Woody Allen, so it's taken it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
but,
that was weird.
It was.
So. And there was also some articles that I read. I was trying to like parse through them. They were kind of pulling quotes that said that she had been like saving countless people from harassment and stuff. And that I couldn't quite find a lot of sources from. So
well, even this article that we're looking at literally right now. Her speech, she's like, man, I saved these people, and then later on she's like, when I say saved, I literally just say, like, don't. Like, just don't. Like, she's not taking on the burden of being like, I am the, like, honorary person who's saving these women. It's just like, that's the only way to phrase it, I guess.
Yeah, listen. It's not great.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's some shit here, especially because of the Woody Allen stuff, which I forgot about until this moment. So thank you for bringing it up, because that's not chill. But I guess this is political stuff, so I'm glad that we're talking about this, because that's, I don't know.
It's in our wheelhouse now.
It is, yeah. But, I don't know. Hopefully this kind of gets her to discuss these things and have more conversation and realize that, like, just saying, quote, like, don't fuck her is not,
right.
like, enough, I guess. The other thing that I wanted to touch on, because I guess it is sort of relevant, is Stephenie Meyer posted and kind of remade relevant her frequently asked questions on her website, because who knows why, I guess.
She was bored and on a Sunday.
She needed more hits on her website to make her monthly quota, I guess.
The SEO was lacking.
Jesus Christ. Yes. And one of the ones that she redirected to during her tweet that she said was her favorite was, is Twilight autobiographical? Now, I have not checked out the FAQ on her website in a very long time. But I just thought that was worth mentioning because of the fact that it was dredged back up onto our Twitter. And it's like the last question on her FAQ, which meant that I had to go through and well, I didn't. There's a click through at the top of like all of them, but I just felt like it was worth looking through. And it was just so funny because the whole question is, and here's my favorite, though it's only been asked once, is Twilight autobiographical? And the answer is like really short. It's like, no, Twilight is a work of fiction. But I was just like, Steph, you know that you just included this just to kind of like pat your ego because you love vampires and like you wish that this was real. But like,
I did this all by myself in my own head. It is not anything of real life.
Yeah, and like, screw my family, screw my kids, but like, yeah, no, I'm actually a real vampire walking amongst mortals. Thank you, Steph.
I see you.
Sure. Okay, sounds great. The one thing I wanted to know within discussion topics and listener questions this week is we got a mood board made of our podcast.
It was so cute.
It definitely made my week, that's for sure, and it was very cute. We did post it on our Twitter, so thank you so much. That definitely was the best.
Bless.
Very good. Now, Cody, would you like to chat about Breaking Dawn with me?
I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, shit kind of hits the fan this week.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, Breaking Dawn, Chapter 7, Unexpected. Now, we kind of left off last week with the revelation that Bella was pregnant. That does kind of color your viewing, because if you hadn't figured that out last week, you sure as hell would have been able to parse through it. That was going to be my conversation topic for this week of like, hey, so Bella's pregnant. Welcome to the biggest turning point of what Breaking Dawn is supposed to be.
Immediately.
Listen, it wasn't a knock on your intelligence. It's just that Stephenie is Stephenie, and we never know with her.
But I know.
Well,
I know.
That's true. We have read approximately 1 million pages of her work at this point.
That's a real life number. Yep.
And she has been trying to communicate via dreams at this point, kind of what's going on. Speaking of dreams, we do get one more here.
Nothing but the hits in this episode.
Right, yeah.
Just call back every good bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of bingo board checking going on here. And we do get a lot of Stephenie kind of phrases and adjectives here with this dream. So we get a lot of like sharp, wet teeth and bone-colored claws. So it's a lot to kind of gag over, that's for sure. So she's dreaming about the Volturi again. Yikes, I guess. And she goes from being terrified of them to wanting to throw hands, which is a very Bella sort of attitude, I would say. And she wakes up and is hot and understandably so because it's Brazil or off the coast of. And we get the first note from Edward because for the first time he is not there, understandably needs to hunt, which means that she wakes up and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And as you do when you can't sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, you make fried chicken, of course.
Listen, we've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
There's a substitute for everyone, but there is a food you make.
Yeah.
At 1 in the morning.
Yeah, there's a comfort food for us
and
all.
And fried chicken is such a good one.
Now, I don't know about you all, but I definitely do this thing where I think I want a food, and then as soon as it's done and I've made it, I instantly don't want it anymore. And so I definitely relate to this where Bella has finished eating it or finished cooking it, and then she takes one bite and she's like, nah, fuck this. Now, she's doing it because she is pregnant, but I just do it because I don't know.
I don't.
But yeah, so she takes one bite and she's like, oh yeah, no, fuck this. Absolutely not. But yeah, anyway, so she changes her mind. She just ends up going to sleep again in the living room, and of course Edward is there and everything is cooler, and he's like, oh yeah, sorry I was gone. Now, being the Bella Virgo that she is, she gets sick, but before she can do so, she needs to use all of the manners in her repertoire to do so. And I just felt like that was a very good explanation of her.
I love how you're not saying what you've written, which I think is a very good word.
Well, because it's a very good Yahtzee word, too.
A Scrabble even.
And by Yahtzee, I
just
mean
because it sounds
Scrabble.
like Yahtzee.
It does sound like Yahtzee. I don't know games.
I've never played a game.
Who is she? So anyway, Bella gets sick and she just like can't anymore. I love that she even she curses the chicken, which damn, first of all. She even goes as far as to just be like, go away, which also
don't look at me like that.
Also, I love that afterwards she's like, I feel fine. And their version of settling down as married folk is frying some eggs and putting on CNN, which you guys are the worst.
Oh, God.
Anyway, they're just I
hate that.
Gross.
Get out of here. I come here to step away from my journalism program.
I know.
I didn't ask for this.
Yeah. So anyway, they chill out or whatever, and Bella goes to get her little first aid kit that Alice made, of course, and she's looking for Pepto, #not spawn, and she finds the quote small blue box. Now, what she means to say is she's trying to find tampons, but it takes 3 pages for her to just say tampons.
Stephanie,
you can just say tampons. We get it.
I can't even.
Anyway,
the small blue box.
No, it was a very, very large blue. What? It was the size of the house. Anyway,
full of tampons.
Yep.
She got that Super Plus, and that's fine. You can't change your regulations. Fine. You can't change your flow, man.
But it's still a box. It's just... Anyway. So Bella's trying to count how many days it's been since the wedding. And Edward is confused throughout all of this. Understandably so, because, hi, welcome to the marriage of no communication.
Hello. Absolutely not.
And nobody is talking to each other. And I love this part, too, because Edward is like, what? Are you trying to pass this illness off as PMS? And we finally find out that she's trying to say that her period is late, right? And we find out that Bella is never late on her period, which, first of all...
She is it is exactly 5 days. It is on, the second Tuesday of every month, and it lasts for that long, and I know. Absolutely.
For Bella, yes, it's very in character.
Yeah.
And for some people, yes, also very in character. But, Stephanie, have you ever met anyone with a period?
Yeah.
Because in this America...
I have
anyway
2 separate period tracking apps on my phone, and I'm still never sure when it's coming. Never. They're all both I have no idea. I cannot help you.
Stephanie.
Come on. Do some, market research. Figure it out.
That part is one of the most unrealistic parts of this novel.
Which is saying something.
It is saying something. And then we move on to the fact that it's been several days. And then we look down, and Bella has now a small but defined bump sticking out between her hips, and they just had sex.
I cannot believe. When did this happen? Might not have had a bump that large in that amount of time. And she's like, wow, there it is.
Literally.
I haven't looked at my body.
Yeah. I just, and the fact that she just yards. There shouldn't be anything anyway. I'm just saying that still, the fact that her period is usually never late is still one of the most unrealistic things in this novel. Anyway, so we get back to this thing, and all that she keeps saying is impossible, and Edward is still not saying anything. It's fine. Bella even says a vampire who is still frozen on the floor with no sign of ever moving again. He's literally catatonic. It's fine. Now, we go to a little bit of a flashback to a website called Vampires A to Z. Do you remember? So there's...
God, every time you lead in with Do You Remember, I just think of the Do You Remember in September song.
I'm literally singing it in my head right now. I just didn't want to have a copyright issue, so I didn't sing it.
I just didn't want to get sued.
And I didn't want pork chops to come out of my head again. So,
oh my god.
But yes. She goes on this, long tangent about, incubuses and succubus. Is it incubi? Incubi and succubi? Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
I literally teach English.
Language is, wild, right?
It's literally all a social construction. It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But yeah, so then she goes on this, long tangent about it. And then she mentions again that she touches the bump on her stomach that she says had not been there yesterday. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She needs to poop, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
It's really gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Everybody poops. You know what they say.
You know
what they say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. So, it's even mentioned here, and, there's a lot of... Bella's, going on this long tangent, right? And this is usually the part when Bella would be having, a spiraling crisis. Nope. She's not having a crisis. She is very honed in. She's very focused. She's got
a plan.
Yeah, she's Ocean's 12ing this thing. And then you pan over just a little bit to the left, and Edward is on the floor. He's not even to the point where he's rocking back and forth yet. Nope. He's still just... catatonic.
Just a solid mass.
Yep. Because here's Bella, and she's changed everything because the fact that there was a, quote, soft little nudge that happened underneath her hand from under her stomach, which means that her intestines are moving something underneath her. She needs to poop, but she's pregnant.
Could you imagine if she was oh my god, he's kicking? It's what? It's been 5 days. What do you mean? You just have to poop. There's nothing. There's no formed human being in your body right now.
Bella, have you ever been around Edward for this concentrated amount of time and ever pooped in front of someone that you love before? Because sometimes it makes you nervous, and sometimes you hold things in that you don't want to. It's okay. Everybody poops.
It's fine. I don't think Edward's gonna notice because he's unconscious.
Yeah.
He is in a third state.
So while Bella's realizing digestion and Edward's catatonic, Edward's phone rings. And it's even mentioned here. Cool, I wish Edward would answer it. I was having a moment. Possibly the biggest of my life. So the phone's still ringing. Finally, Bella gets down and answers it. And it's Alice. And Alice is having a crisis because something's happening to Bella. And she doesn't know what's going on. And Bella doesn't care. She doesn't want to talk to Alice. She wants to talk to Carlisle. Anyway.
Fair
enough. Same.
The doctor in the family? Yeah.
So anyway, she gets a hold of Carlisle and asks if vampires can go into shock. And of course, Carlisle, that's a very weird question. He's like, is Edward dying? Like, what? And of course Belle's like, oh, no, I mean, no, that's not, he's just taken by surprise. And of course they start talking about how Bella's probably pregnant, and they start talking about her menstrual cycle and everything. And of course Carlisle's like, well, how do you feel? Of course Bella's response is, well, weird, of course. Because she's constipated. It's better
than a typical Bella response than it would be like, oh, I'm great.
I'm
fine. Actually, never better. There's just like, I'm like pregnant and there's life growing inside of me. But like, other than that, super chill and super great.
Yeah. So then that's when the ableist language starts, because Bella's like, well, maybe I am crazy. I've been having all these dreams and eating all the time and I'm throwing up and crying. And she says, I swear something moved inside of me just now. And that's the trigger for Edward to wake up. And so Edward takes the phone, right? And he starts having this conversation with Carlisle. And of course Bella thinks like, oh yeah, everything's great. We're gonna go home and they're gonna take care of me and everything's gonna be perfect. They were on the phone for more than an hour. Well, he was on the phone with the airport for more than an hour for that. And this is the part that I think is such a mood, right? Because he went from being completely catatonic to now he's on the phone with the airport for an hour. Yeah. And he's speaking in a different language and he's arguing with them. And as he's arguing, he's packing and like flying through the house and just like throwing things into bags. And that cycle is me. That's like
from your lowest state and then going to like, I need to clean and pack everything, I need to get shit done, I need to call everyone who I need to talk to right now, let's fucking go. Yes, yep, ma'am.
Yeah, that's me. And just the fact that Bella even says like, I needed to go into another room because I couldn't deal with this anymore. She just goes into another room and starts eating pretzels. Like, so anyway, as they get ready to pack up and leave, he realizes that they can't actually go yet because the housekeepers are coming. But before that can happen, Edward comes over and he's like, oh, hey, so we're going to get ready to leave and everything will be fine. Carlisle's going to be there when we get there and we'll take care of this. Like, you'll be fine. And Bella's like, what do you mean, take care of this? And anyway, Edward's like, he starts using language like it and like thing. And Bella's like, she goes into like super like mama bear mode about using that type of language for the baby that she's already like attached herself to. Yeah. And anyway, so the housekeepers come. And, oh, yeah, also, I should mention that Bella started calling her baby the little nudger, which, like, Bella. That's, you don't, that's a child.
There's a human being in there somewhere.
That, you don't just call this thing
that's gonna be a person.
You don't just call this thing, like, an annoyance. Like...
That thing could have a 401k at some point.
Oh my god! Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, so Gustavo and Kauri are there, and they, like, brought food, and so that's great, and also kind of them, but not really effective for what they're trying to do right now. So, anyway, they bring this food, right, and it's some sort of, like, fish dish, but Bella's like, nope, and just instantly, like, gets sick again. Anyway, Kauri sees that, and... she like sees that Edward is like going over and like trying to take care of Bella, and then all of a sudden like Kauri like flips script and just starts like screaming at Edward. and, like, pointing at him and all this stuff. And, like, mood, first of all. But she's, like, scared, not necessarily, like, pissed. And they start having this conversation, which obviously, like, you can parse through is her being like, you got this girl pregnant, how dare you, like, this is totally against the rule, like, all this stuff, right? And we find out that Edward's, like, expression changes, all this stuff, where he's like, no, like, whoops. Like,
JK, actually.
Anyway, the conversation ends. It ends with her looking at Bella and being like, this girl gonna die.
Yep.
Because Bella's like, I knew enough Spanish for that one.
I got that one in my brain. Thank you.
Yeah. So she leaves. And I love this part too, because Edward goes over to Bella and is like, don't worry about anything. It's all legends. It's just no big deal. And Bella has to be like, I didn't understand anything. It's totally fine. And the problem with that is that her whole life revolves around legends. She even says that, like, they were all true. So how could she discount any of them at this point? Like, you don't just get to pick and choose which ones at this point. So, anyway, I just thought that that was kind of interesting. So, they get rid of, like, them, because they leave, and then they pack up everything else. Bella makes a note that as they were getting ready to leave, he almost forgot his phone, because he's, like, so stressed that nothing has been like him. So, as they were getting ready to leave, the chapter ends with Bella calling Rosalie. Bam, bam, bam. And that's where book 1 ends. Ugh. So now we start book 2. And book 2 is Jacob.
It hurts me. It hurts.
Yes.
Me. And I feel death.
So when the new book starts, of course we get a new epigraph. So we go back to Willie Shakes, and it's A Midsummer Night's Dream, because, of course. Now, of course, because it's a new book, we get another preface, and the preface is, life sucks, and then you die. Yeah, I should be so lucky.
Stephanie. Why? Jacob.
Jacob.
Also, I will admit, though, listening to the audiobook, anytime anyone said Jacob, they all kind of said it in, like, a Jacob or, like, a Jacob way.
I know,
and
right?
It was very, like, affirming. I was like, cool, I'm not the only one who thinks he's a shitbag teen who's just, like, you know, fucking up at every turn.
That's why I like the way that Matt does it, is because he says Jacob the right way.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
Yeah, he says it with the right intonation. For sure. He has that, like, I don't know, he gets Jacob's voice to me, which is, like, I don't know, he's just so over it.
Yeah. It is better than Ileana Kadushin doing a Jacob voice, for sure.
Well, and for some reason, the way that she says Jacob, she doesn't pronounce C, she says P. Like, she says Jake, like, she doesn't say Jacob, she says, like, Jake Pub or something. Like, I don't know.
Jake Pub. This is my son,
anyway.
J-Pub.
So yes, chapter 8, waiting for the damn fight to start already. Because, welcome. You changed it in the notes!
I'm changing everyone.
Oh no! I know that you guys...
man? What's up?
I know that you guys don't understand this, but Cody's going through our Google Doc right now. He's changing them to all from Jacob to Jacob. Jacob. Oh no. Jacob. Oh God. Okay. So.
Bring it back.
So chapter 8 starts off with this fight. It's not really even a fight. It's just this, like, piss match between
Yep.
Paul and J-Pub. And they're at Jake's house, and Paul is there because he's a couch surfer motherfucker.
Sure, yeah.
Because at first we don't find out why he's there. We just think that he's just, like, bored and hanging out. at Jake's house watching baseball and eating all of Jake's Doritos. Because, like, don't you all have that one friend?
Hey, we got that one. And sometimes you are that friend.
If you don't have that friend, you are that friend.
You are exactly that friend, is what I'm trying to say.
But we soon find out, after J-Pub breaks Paul's nose, that Paul has imprinted on J-Pub's sister, Rachel. So Jake just can't catch a break.
No.
Everybody around him is in love, and he's just over it. And he just wants to eat his Doritos and be pissy. And, like, honestly, you know what?
At the end of the day,
you just want to be alone with your Doritos and your misery, you know? He's not asking for much, you know?
No, that's not.
There's a lot of italics in this chapter, especially in this first part of, you know, did it have to be my sister? Did it have to be Paul? It's a lot. But yeah, we also find out a little bit more backstory about Embry in this first part too, that, you know, Embry, his mom doesn't know that he's a wolf. And so she just thinks that he's a really rebellious child that doesn't listen to anything that she says, which is really sad because he's just trying to do his best.
Yeah.
And that sucks because, like, that means that he's getting, you know, the rough end of the stick from, like, his mom and from Sam, and he's just like, it's okay, guys, I'm just trying to live my life. So that sucks. But anyway, we get basically a lot of backstory in this chapter. We find out about, like, what's been going on with the pack and everything. We find out that Jake's just been really tired since he got back, that all of the thoughts in his head are hornets and not bees, in case you were curious.
Thank God. Good distinction to make.
Yep, we find out that Jake's internal monologue is filled with a lot of ableist language.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Stephanie. We find out that when Jake is not thinking about anything else, he thinks about Bella's death a lot, and not in a murderous way, but just in a very self-loathing way.
Sure.
Because that could be misconstrued in a, like, when Jake is bored, he thinks about killing Bella a lot. That's not how that works. He just is wondering how the news is going to come about her dying. Basically, he wants to know when the news is going to come out about her changing, because he wants to throw hands with Edward and the Cullens, as the title of this chapter stated.
He's ready to fight.
Yes. He has a lot of teenage angst that needs to come out. He's very annoyed that Paul is laughing in his house because he does not feel like laughing. Therefore, he goes down to the beach where Quill is. Now, as we found out before, Quill has imprinted on Claire. And Claire is a toddler. And so we get this little scene of them at First Beach, where Claire is looking for stones and Quill is trying to keep her from drowning in the water. And Jake is just kind of baffled by the whole existence of everything that's there. Which, like, same, honestly.
It's a wild trip.
Yeah, because Stephanie tries to kind of explain all of this, right? Of the fact that Quill's, like, having more fun than all of the parents are. He couldn't even make fun of Quill because he envied him so much. They try to have this conversation about dating, right? Like, while he's waiting for Claire, and it's gross.
Yeah.
And it's all a setup, right? Because of the fact that later on, like, Quill's, like, shocked by this question that Jake has because he's, quote, never thought about it. But then he asks the same of Jacob, and Jake's like, well, why would you even ask that? I don't understand.
Like, what? Why?
While these two are having fun trying to find rocks at the beach and stuff. And it's just like, Stephanie, subtlety. Have you heard of it, please? So, yeah. It's just like, Jake is supposed to be in the same position that all of these imprinted couples are in, but he's not, and yet he still doesn't want to date anybody else. So anyway, Sam kind of like howls off in the distance, and he's like, oh, time to go. They go off into the forest, and then they find out some information about Bella. And that's where the point of this perspective of Jacob comes in. Mm-hmm. And this is when things are supposed to get interesting. Yeah. So Bella called our lovely dad, Charlie, and they're back. And Bella is sick. Sick. She's gotten back, and she still hasn't pooped. Is what we find out.
She needs to poop.
She's tried prune juice. She's tried everything. It's still not working. Anyway,
just prune juice. She's been bathing in prune juice.
Yeah. Anyway, so Charlie's really worried because she's quarantined. Nobody's allowed to see her. But Charlie apparently has said to Billy that, like, it's pretty serious, but that when she called Charlie that it was worse today, and the whole pack is worried because they aren't sure what to do. Anyway, Seth is like worried about Jacob, right? But as the whole pack talks, Sam makes the group decision that they're not going to attack the Cullens, and Jake he's pissed. Because what's the point? He assumes, understandably, he makes a logical jump that she's already changed. And he's like, well, if she's changed, then she's not Bella anymore. And so, since Sam made the decision for the pack that they are not attacking as a pack, he's like, well, then I guess that I'll just go on my own.
Later.
And that's where chapter 8 leaves off. Yep. Silly J-Pub is going out.
Oh, J-Pub.
Is going out on his own.
Why?
Yes. Because he's J-Pub and...
J-Pub.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense. So next week is chapter 9. Sure as hell didn't see that one coming.
Oh, boy.
And chapter 10, why didn't I just walk away? Oh, right. Because I'm an idiot.
Great. Really good stuff happening here.
Thank you, Stephanie. I can't believe we have to read this.
For the whole book. For the whole book, too. Of his, like, quirky asides. Like, no, stop.
Stephanie, you couldn't even hide your ableist language in the actual text. You have to put them into the titles themselves. We did get some new iTunes reviews. So that's exciting. We got a new one from Richie Tenenbaum.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then, do you want to say the second one?
GDHJHC.
And now you know we are not robots.
Good to go. We are human beings.
The other way to get shouted out on here is by being a patron.
It's with cash money.
Yeah. Actual cash money.
Cash money.
We have an additional person added to the squad. Yes. So we have our usual folks. Our $25 patron, Rachel Swan.
God bless.
Amazing.
Yes.
And then we have our $10 patrons of Jessica Stanley, Rachel Black, and our new additional folk of Katie Weber.
Yay!
So Katie has been a patron of ours, but recently got boosted up to the $10 club. So
hell welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the cool club.
Welcome to the High Life.
Yeah.
Hope it's great.
Welcome to the Miller High Life.
Ew.
The champagne of beers.
Ew. Oh my god, that's great. So, I have a treat for you.
Oh, please. Give me a treat.
So, this author,
this
fan fiction author, was recommended by one of our Tumblr followers this week. So that's great. It
also follow on Tumblr.
Also, yeah,
do that.
That's great. The author is P.A. Lassiter, and everything that they write is, well, their tagline is everything through Edward's eyes. Ooh. So that's great. I don't know why I just said that and pushed up my glasses. So, but that's where I'm at right now. So I wanted to find something that was kind of relevant to where we're at right now. Sure. So I found accompanying chapter, because they kind of write everything through Edward's eyes. So they've kind of rewritten like the second half of Midnight Sun and then kind of everything in the novel. So I found a chapter of Breaking Dawn, and they wrote a section of swimming. So right when they get to Isle Esme. So this section is right when they get into the water, and it's from Edward's perspective, which is cool. Yeah. The best way that I can kind of describe their Edward is very, I don't know, like a very nerdy kind of Edward, which is a good way. I mean, he's already nerdy, but like a hyped up, like a Jake Peralta kind of. I don't know. It's good. So this is from, I guess, chapter 4, swimming, which is good. Esme was loaning it to Bella and myself as a wedding gift, and it was the perfect place for us to celebrate our nuptials privately in the sunshine. Bella was in the cottage taking some time to herself before joining me for a late night swim. 35 minutes after leaving her there, I was still waiting. Nervously, eagerly. It was hard to tell. I decided to give her 10 more minutes before going back to check on her. Perhaps she had fallen asleep. After 42 minutes, 17 seconds, I was relieved to hear Bella's soft footsteps in the sand as she approached the water. Facing out to sea, I had taken a vampire stance, statue still, while I waited for her to join me. As she drew near, I wanted to turn around and watch her make her way down to the beach and into the ocean, but I did not, as she might feel self-conscious when my nakedness was hidden by the water and hers was not, assuming she was naked, of course, and seen.
Wow.
Vampire stance. Statue stance.
Yeah, vampire stance. Oh, now I'm just thinking of that one photo of Ted Cruz where he doesn't know how to stand like a normal human being, so he just kind of like looks like a robot statue.
Oh my god, topical reference to Ted Cruz.
Listen, he just came out and like did the meme.
I know, that's what I'm
Zodiac
saying.
Killer. Oh, okay, I thought you were like dragging me for doing something that was like a year old. But
no. The truth is out there. Get bit.
Oh, hi there. Guess who stole Cody's mic and took over the end credits? This is an Earbud Media production. You can pitch a show at bit.ly/earbudpitch. You can check out the network's Twitter at Earbud Media. And while you're doing that, why don't you follow us everywhere at Into the Twilight? Since you're doing that, why don't you just go ahead and check out our Patreon? It's patreon.com/intothetwilight. Just as little as $1 a month, you can get some cool things like pins and books, help us do cool things like live streams. You can always help us out for free with rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Our amazing artwork was done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44. Our fantastic music was done by Eli Krause, who you can find at KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro of our podcast is done by KB Smith, who you can find at KB_Smith. You can find Cody everywhere online at Cody Captures, and you can find me now everywhere at Into Wild Places. You stayed until the end. Check you out. Good job, and we will check back with you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up, John?
I just wanted to confirm that we were recording Monday.
Yes.
What are we recording for?
Oh, it's our new podcast.
Our podcast, the Strange Little People one.
Strange
right?
Little People, yeah.
Yeah, the one on Earbud Media Productions.
Mm-hmm. You can find it on YouTube. You can listen to it.
The one that we update every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, dude.
When we have new guests all the time.
Sometimes.
Most
of the time.
Yeah, and we talk about current events and stuff.
People should listen to it, right?
Yeah.
It's something cool.
I think people would like it. I mean, you don't have to, but I hope you would.
Did you put out the ad yet? The flyers?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, as we speak.
No, you're sitting down.
No, this is happening right now, as we speak.
John, why did my hand just go through you?
Oh my god.
John.
We'll talk about it next week.